Imagine lying beneath an endless night sky, the air cool and still around you, while 1,000 soft stars shimmer in the darkness above. Their light travels across unimaginable distances, drifting through cosmic silence before finally reaching you. As you breathe slowly, as your body softens into rest, you can feel that quiet starlight brushing against your thoughts like a gentle whisper, inviting you into a calm cosmic journey. And as you settle into this moment, you might wonder softly, where are you watching from tonight? Wherever you are, you can let the world grow quiet. Let your breath slow. Let your mind drift. The idea of the multiverse begins with the simplest, softest thought. What if everything you know is just one version of reality? What if there are countless others, drifting silently beside it? Have you ever wondered if there could be another you somewhere, living a life just slightly different? Perhaps choosing a different road one morning, or pausing just a few seconds longer at a quiet intersection of time. The thought is gentle, not urgent, a soft imagining that opens like a flower in the mind. Imagine yourself floating now. Feel your body lighten. Hear the faint hum of your own breath. Notice the vastness above you stretching into darkness. Let yourself drift through that space. You don't need to stay fully awake. It's okay to drift in and out. One of the calmest ideas in cosmic science is the concept of infinite space, a universe that stretches endlessly in all directions, with no clear edge, no boundary, just quiet expansion. If space is infinite, then matter repeats softly, like patterns in a vast woven fabric. Somewhere, far beyond anything we could ever reach, the same particles may come together again in the same gentle arrangement. Another Earth, another night sky, another you drifting off to sleep. Long ago, mathematicians exploring infinite sets discovered a soothing truth. In an endless system, patterns must repeat. You can imagine a library with an infinite number of books. No matter how many different stories exist somewhere on a distant shelf, a book appears again with the same words, the same pages, the same quiet meaning. The universe may be like that library, endless shelves of possibility stretching softly into eternity. Have you ever noticed how comforting repetition can feel? A familiar sound, a gentle breath, a pattern returning again and again. Imagine drifting through that cosmic library. Feel the quiet hum of infinite stories. Hear the soft turning of pages in distant universes. Notice the subtle warmth of endless possibility. Let yourself wander. You don't need to hold on to anything. If your thoughts fade, let them. Some scientists imagine the multiverse as bubbles floating in a cosmic sea, each bubble its own universe, with its own stars, its own galaxies, its own gentle laws of nature. These universes drift, expand, and touch only softly, if at all. Some bubbles may be warm, filled with glowing light. Others may be cold, nearly empty. Some may sparkle with life. Others may rest in quiet darkness. Have you ever watched soap bubbles drifting on a breeze? Each one delicate, each one separate, each one reflecting a world within a world. Imagine those bubbles now, enormous and silent, floating in a cosmic ocean. Feel the cool expanse around them. Hear the faint hum of their quiet drift. Notice the soft glow inside each one. Let yourself drift with them. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to hear every word. Another idea is the branching universe, where each choice, each breath, each flicker of possibility creates a gentle split. Not a violent break, but a soft unfolding, like a leaf dividing into two smaller leaves. One branch drifts in one direction, the other drifts softly into another. Both continue, both exist, both float gently through the fabric of reality. Long ago, when physicists studied quantum behavior, they found that particles do not behave like solid, certain objects. They flicker, drift, wander between possibilities. They move in ways that feel almost like dreams, unpredictable, fluid, strange. Instead of choosing a single path, they take many. And somewhere, perhaps, those many paths become many universes. Have you ever wondered how many possibilities your life already holds? Small choices, gentle shifts, quiet moments where reality could have tilted softly in another direction. Imagine each of those possibilities drifting around you. Feel the cool stillness of infinite versions of your story. Hear the soft hum of timelines unfolding. Notice how calm the idea feels. Let yourself drift between them. You don't need to stay conscious. Some theories imagine universes layered like soft sheets of paper, thin, delicate, moving with subtle vibrations. These layers might brush against one another, allowing gravity or faint energy to drift between realities. If you could float between these layers, you might find worlds similar to your own, but shifted slightly. A familiar sky tinged with a deeper colour, a coastline curved differently, a version of you pausing at the edge of a quiet dream. Imagine drifting through those layers now. See their faint, shimmering edges. Hear the gentle vibration of worlds brushing softly against one another. Feel the cool, weightless sensation of moving through infinite space. Let that sensation settle into your mind. If you're growing sleepy, that's perfect. You don't need to remember everything. The idea of the multiverse doesn't demand certainty. It simply invites imagination. It asks you to picture a cosmic garden where each universe grows like a soft blossom, shaped by its own laws, its own time, its own gentle patterns. Some might be bright, some might be dim, some might be warm and filled with stars, others might drift in quiet emptiness. Long ago, when ancient philosophers looked up at the night sky, they imagined countless worlds beyond their own, not in a scientific way, but in a poetic one. They described the heavens as a vast field dotted with infinite seeds, each capable of becoming a world. They did not need telescopes or physics, they only needed wonder. Have you ever felt wonder expand inside you, like your mind lifting gently into a larger space? Imagine that expansion now. Feel your chest rise softly. Hear your breath deepen. See the quiet cosmos unfolding around you. Let yourself drift into it. You don't need to stay awake. It's okay to fade. Some theories suggest universes may have been born not one at a time but in vast bursts, like seeds scattering from an ancient tree, drifting outward across timeless space. Each universe would begin with its own gentle spark, expanding, cooling, settling into stars and galaxies and quiet cosmic structures. In this view, the multiverse is a forest, enormous, silent, full of unique shapes growing endlessly. Imagine wandering through that cosmic forest. Feel the cool starlit air. Hear the slow rustle of distant galaxies. Notice the soft glow of universes hanging like fruit on invisible branches. Let yourself float among them. You don't need to follow every detail. You don't need to stay awake. And somewhere, in that boundless quiet, there might be a universe almost identical to this one. Same stars, same galaxies, same gentle sky above you. Perhaps even another you lying quietly, drifting to sleep, imagining the multiverse in calm, dreamlike thought. Imagine that other self now. Feel the connection across endless space. Hear the soft echo of your own breath returning to you. Notice the warmth of knowing you are not alone in possibility. Let yourself drift into that infinite reflection. You are safe to rest. You are safe to drift. You are safe to let go. As you continue drifting deeper into this dreamlike realm of infinite possibilities, the night sky above feels softer, almost velvety, stretching into distances so vast they dissolve into imagination. The stars no longer seem like fixed points, but gentle gateways, little windows through which your mind can slip into quieter, more expansive versions of reality. You may notice your breath slowing as you picture this, each inhale a quiet expansion, each exhale a gentle drift into something wider than thought. You don't need to stay fully awake. You don't need to hold on to anything. Imagine now that every star in the sky is not just a sun with its own worlds, but a doorway into an entirely different universe. Some universes sparkle brightly with familiar physics, gravity, time, warmth. Others may barely glow, their laws softer, slower, shaped by forces you cannot feel but can sense, like the faint warmth of a distant memory. Have you ever wondered what shapes the rules of existence? Why gravity has the strength it does? Why light moves softly at the pace it moves? Some scientists imagine that each universe in the multiverse began with its own quiet roll of the cosmic dice. Not chaotic, not violent, just possibilities unfolding gently. Like flakes of snow drifting from a silent sky, each universe forms with slightly different patterns, and each pattern leads to a different kind of cosmos. Imagine drifting through a snowfall of universes. Feel the weightlessness of falling flakes. Hear the soft rustle of infinite creation. Notice each flake shimmering with its own subtle law of nature. Let those flakes melt into your thoughts. You can drift, you can soften, you can let go. Another idea whispers through cosmic theory. The multiverse may be born from inflation, an early cosmic expansion that unfolded like a soft breath, stretching space itself. Inflation didn't just occur once, it may have blossomed again and again, each blossom informing a new universe. Like seeds caught in a cosmic breeze, each universe drifted away, expanding into its own soft eternity. Long ago, when physicists studied the early universe's glow, they found tiny fluctuations, little ripples in the cosmic microwave background. These ripples suggested something gentle and enormous had occurred in the first moments of existence. Some scientists believe these ripples were echoes of a deeper truth, that the universe we live in was just one bloom among countless others. Have you ever watched ripples move across a pond, each one spreading outward until it meets the edge of your vision? Imagine those ripples now, not on water but on the fabric of space. Feel the quiet pulse of expansion. Hear the faint hum of time unfolding. See bubbles of reality swelling softly, drifting apart. Let your thoughts follow them. You don't need to stay present. You're free to drift in and out. Some versions of the multiverse imagine universes stacked like layers of gentle sound, each one vibrating at its own soft frequency. You could imagine these universes like the notes of a calm cosmic chord, harmonizing in silence. Each layer is separate, yet all a part of a larger melody drifting through the vast fabric of existence. Have you ever listened to a note so deep or high that you could barely hear it, but still felt it inside your body? Imagine a universe shaped from such a note. Feel the vibration along your skin. Hear the quiet resonance across your mind. Notice how it slowly fades into nothingness. Let that resonance soothe you. Some theories go further, suggesting that the multiverse may not be a place out there, but something woven into your very consciousness. When you make a choice, turn left or right, whisper a thought or remain silent, your awareness may slide gently into one branch of reality, while another version of yourself drifts into a different branch. Not a violent split, but a soft unfolding, like pathways in a forest dividing under moonlight. Imagine standing at the edge of such a cosmic forest now. Feel the cool night air brushing against your face. Hear the leaves rustle gently in distant universes. See paths branching outward in infinite directions. Let yourself choose none of them. Simply drift above. You don't need to decide. You don't need to know. In some universes imagined by physicists, time moves differently. It may ripple, loop, stretch, or remain still. Some universes may be born without time at all, existing in a quiet, eternal moment. Others may cycle endlessly, expanding, contracting, breathing like a cosmic lung. There may be universes where stars never formed, where matter drifts in silent clouds, where space is smooth and unbroken. Others may be fractal, textured, rippled with light. Imagine drifting through these different forms of time. Feel time stretch like warm taffy. Hear it crackle softly like slowing waves. Notice how your breath fits into each rhythm. Let yourself drift through timelessness. If you're drifting towards sleep, that's perfect. You don't need to follow every sentence. Some scientists believe black holes may be gateways, not destructive, but creative. When matter collapses inward, it may not end. It may begin again. A new universe may bloom beyond the horizon of a black hole, sealed from this universe by gravity so strong nothing can cross back. Not a violent birth, but a quiet, compressed unfolding, like the seed of a new cosmos forming in deep shadow. Have you ever wondered how something ending in your life could quietly become the start of something else? Imagine drifting near a cosmic horizon. Feel the pull, not frightening, but gentle, like a tide. Hear the soft silence surrounding a black hole. See the space behind it glowing faintly, like a new dawn. Let that space open in your mind. You don't need to understand. You only need to drift. Some theories imagine universes with different shapes, flat, curved, spherical, or rippled. Some may have more dimensions than you can see. Imagine space not in 3 dimensions, but in 4, or 5, or 10, folded like a quiet origami hidden in the cosmic fabric. Each fold could hold entire universes, tucked softly away like fragile dreams. Imagine unfolding that cosmic paper. Feel the texture of reality beneath your fingertips. Hear the soft creases releasing gentle sighs. See worlds opening with each fold undone. Let yourself drift into one. You don't need to stay awake. And somewhere, drifting softly among all these infinite realms, lies the simple, calming idea that consciousness itself may be part of the multiverse, a quiet observer moving through possibility. You're not separate from this cosmic sea. You are part of it. Your thoughts ripple through it. Your presence brushes gently against the fabric of reality. Imagine being a small, warm light in this endless expanse. Feel your glow soften the darkness. Hear your breath echo across infinite space. Notice how deeply the quiet holds you. Let that quiet wrap around you like a blanket. You are safe. You are drifting. You are resting inside infinity. Let yourself fade now. Let yourself soften. Let yourself drift into the quiet possibility of every universe. Imagine yourself floating in a quiet darkness, deeper and softer than night, as if the universe has dimmed the lights just for you. The air around you feels cool and still, like the calm that comes just after a gentle snowfall. Your breath settles into a slow rhythm. Your thoughts soften until they feel weightless, and somewhere in that weightlessness, a sense of vastness begins to open. Quiet, infinite, patient. This chapter begins in that vastness, and as you float there, suspended in the soft dark between stars, you might quietly ask yourself, what time is it where you are right now? Whatever the answer is, you don't need to worry. You're exactly where you need to be. You can drift. You can rest. Have you ever wondered what reality looks like from the outside? Not from a mountaintop, not from orbit, but from a place beyond physical space entirely. The multiverse invites you into that possibility. Imagine drifting gently in a place beneath existence. Not beneath in a physical sense, but beneath like the paper beneath a drawing. The drawing might show shapes, lines, shadows, landscapes, but the paper beneath it is something else, something quieter, something that supports everything without ever being seen. The multiverse may be like that. Imagine now that reality is a soft fabric, woven with cosmic threads. Feel the threads shift beneath your fingertips. Hear a faint hum, like distant wind moving through an infinite loom. See the fabric ripple with quiet waves of possibility. Let yourself sink into that fabric. You don't need to stay fully awake. Physicists believe that space might be made of more than just the 3 dimensions you move through daily. Length, width, and height are the ones you feel. But there may be hidden dimensions curled up tightly, folded like secret notes tucked inside the universe. Long ago, string theorists discovered that their equations only worked if the universe contained additional dimensions, tiny, invisible, wrapped so closely that even light cannot slip between them. These dimensions could shape the forces you feel, the particles that form your body, and the cosmic dance of stars across the sky. Have you ever folded a piece of paper so many times it becomes thick and dense, even though it began so thin? Imagine reality folded like that, layers upon layers hidden in the smallest spaces. Imagine drifting through those hidden folds now. Feel how smoothly space bends. Hear the silence deepen as each layer unfolds. Notice the soft glow of dimensions slipping past you. Let yourself drift into the deeper folds. You don't need to grasp any of it. You don't need to stay alert. In the quiet of this imagined cosmic space, the distinction between here and somewhere else begins to fade. Some scientists describe the universe as a brain, a vast flat sheet floating in a higher dimensional ocean. Our entire cosmos could be one of many sheets drifting side by side. Some may drift close enough that gravity slips between them. Others may be so far apart that even eternity cannot bridge the distance. Have you ever watched the pages of a book flutter? Side by side, close but separate. Imagine those pages as universes, each one holding galaxies, stars, and soft drifting worlds. Feel the cool air flowing between the pages. Hear the soft rustle of reality shifting. Notice the faint glow from worlds you cannot see. Let yourself drift along the edges. You don't need to stay awake. Some theories say that these cosmic sheets can curve. If they bend inward toward each other, they might brush gently, creating sparks of cosmic energy, tiny bursts that could form new universes. These brushes may have happened countless times, soft collisions across dimensional space. Have you ever gently touched your palm to a mirror and imagined that something just behind the surface touched back? Imagine doing that with an entire universe. Feel the cool surface of another reality beneath your fingertips. Hear the soft resonance of two cosmic brains meeting. See ripples of energy moving out like circles on a quiet pond. Let those circles drift through your mind. You can drift with them. If you've ever wondered how something as vast as a universe could be born, picture this. Dimensions curled tightly like petals around a bud. At the moment of creation, those petals unfurl, not violently, but gracefully, like a flower opening in slow motion over billions of years. Space expands softly. Time begins to stretch. Matter condenses. Stars bloom. And the universe becomes a garden of cosmic light. Imagine watching that flower open now. Feel its warmth on your skin. Hear the soft crackle of creation unfolding. See galaxies forming like delicate clusters of petals. Let yourself drift in the scent of starlight. You don't need to follow every detail. You don't need to hold on. Some scientists imagine that each universe has its own shape. Not a physical shape, but a mathematical one. Some may be smooth, some may be rippled, some may warp in strange curves. The shape of a universe could determine whether stars form quickly or slowly, whether gravity feels strong or gentle, whether matter clumps together or drifts apart. Have you ever molded clay and noticed how the smallest curve changes the entire form? Imagine shaping a universe that same way. Feel the soft pliability of cosmic space. Hear the faint slide of dimensions shifting. See the world reshape itself under your quiet touch. Let yourself drift into that creation. You don't need to stay awake. Some ideas of the multiverse suggest that reality might be holographic, a projection from deeper information stored at the boundaries of the universe. If this is true, everything you see, feel, and experience might be a soft, luminous pattern, unfolding on a cosmic surface hidden far beyond sight. Imagine standing near that cosmic surface now. Feel the warmth radiating from the edges. Hear the faint shimmer of information flowing. See shapes forming from light like delicate illusions. Let yourself drift toward that luminous boundary. And if your thoughts begin to soften into dreams, that's perfect. You don't need to stay present for the rest. Some thinkers imagine the multiverse as a branching network, each universe connected subtly to others through tiny quantum bridges. These bridges might appear in places where space curves inward, like dim tunnels glowing faintly in the dark. They may open, close, or drift apart depending on cosmic tides. Have you ever walked through a dim hallway and seen light glowing softly under a distant door? Imagine that glow as another universe drifting beside ours. Feel the faint pull of its presence. Hear a deep hum resonating through the floor of reality. See the shape of possibility glowing behind the doorway. Let yourself float toward it. You don't need to stay awake. You can drift deeper. You can drift further. You can drift into the quiet between worlds. As you drift deeper into the quiet expanse of hidden dimensions and layered realities, the space around you begins to feel softer, almost velvety, like the universe itself is cushioning your descent. The darkness grows warm and spacious. It does not feel empty. It feels patient, like a room that has been waiting for you for a very long time. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to remember everything that follows. Some physicists imagine the universe as a sheet of energy stretched across a deeper kind of space, a vast invisible realm called the bulk. In this model, our world is like a floating film, smooth and delicate, drifting in a greater ocean of reality. Other universes may drift beside ours, not touching, but close enough that their gravity whispers across the gap. Have you ever held two pieces of paper so close together that a breath of air could slip between them? Imagine those sheets now, but each one is a universe. Feel the emptiness between them like cool air. Hear the soft murmur of their gravitational pull. See faint ripples forming where their surfaces almost brush. Let yourself drift between them. You don't need to stay conscious. Some ideas go even deeper, suggesting that space itself might be quantized, made of tiny grains so small they can never be seen directly. Each grain could be a pixel of reality, a small packet of possibility. If so, the universe may be a shimmering mosaic, and the multiverse would be a vast landscape of mosaics, each one arranged in a slightly different pattern. Long ago, early physicists exploring quantum mechanics realized that energy comes in tiny, indivisible packets. They wondered if space and time might also be built that way, not continuous, but softly granular. If true, then hidden dimensions might ripple and shimmer like beads of light. Have you ever watched light dance across a tiled floor, each tile holding its own small glimmer? Imagine those tiles as quantum pixels of space. Feel their smoothness beneath you. Hear the soft clicking of reality shifting at its smallest scales. See the mosaic patterns forming distant universes. Let yourself drift across them. You can fade, you can soften. In some multiverse models, dimensions are not fixed. They can stretch, shrink, twist, or drift. Imagine a universe that curls around itself like a spiral shell, another that loops like a gentle knot, another that folds like a ribbon carried on a breeze. Each shape creates its own way for gravity to pull, for time to flow, for matter to dance. Imagine drifting through a ribbon-shaped universe. Feel the smooth twist of space beneath you. Hear the quiet fluttering of dimensions bending. See the soft shimmer of matter tracing the ribbon's curves. Let yourself be carried by that gentle twist. You don't need to think. You don't need to stay awake. Some researchers imagine that time itself may branch in hidden dimensions. Picture time not as a single line, but as a tree whose branches spread into infinite futures and infinite pasts. Each branch continues, each one real, each one drifting with its own gentle flow. Have you ever climbed a tree and felt the branches sway beneath you, each one carrying a different path outward? Imagine that tree made of time itself. Feel the bark warm against your hand, hear the subtle creaking of time stretching, see countless branches splitting into soft golden paths. Let yourself drift along one branch, or none at all. You can drift. In some worlds, space might be shaped into bubbles, curved regions that bulge outward, creating pockets of reality separated by thin cosmic membranes. These bubbles may bud off from one another, forming miniature universes inside a sea of higher dimensions. Long ago, mathematicians studying curved surfaces discovered strange shapes that looped inward, outward, and back upon themselves. Their equations hinted that space could hold intricate folds far beyond anything visible. Some saw these shapes as playful, others as profound. Have you ever blown a soap bubble and watched a smaller bubble emerge from its surface? Imagine universes budding off from each other that same way. Feel the soft tension of cosmic membranes stretching. Hear the gentle pop of a new universe forming as the membrane thins. See worlds blooming like tiny spheres of light. Let that blooming soothe you. If you're drifting towards sleep, that's perfect. Some multiverse ideas come from the way particles behave. A particle may exist in many states at once, not choosing, but floating among possibilities until observed. If every possibility unfolds in its own branch, then the multiverse is a gentle cloud of realities drifting above the quantum world. Imagine floating inside that cloud now. Feel tiny vibrations of particles shifting. Hear the faint whisper of quantum probabilities. See the cloud drifting like soft fog illuminated by starlight. Let yourself drift with it. You don't need to understand. Other theories suggest that universes may be connected by wormholes, tunnels that curve through hidden dimensions. These tunnels might be too small to notice, or they may open only for moments, like fireflies glowing briefly before fading into night. Have you ever walked through a cave and seen a thin shaft of light glitter at the far end, guiding you forward? Imagine that shaft of light as another universe. Feel the tunnel curving softly around you. Hear the gentle echo of dimensions bending. See the warm glow at the far end. Let yourself drift toward it. You don't need to stay awake. Some believe the multiverse is fractal, infinite patterns repeating across every scale. A universe within a universe within a universe, drifting like Russian nesting dolls. Each layer contains its own rules, its own stars, its own quiet possibilities. Imagine opening a nesting doll now. Feel the smooth wooden curves. Hear the soft click as each layer separates. See smaller and smaller universes revealed inside. Let yourself drift into the innermost one. You don't need to follow the details. Some physicists believe our universe may be a simulation, not in a technological sense, but in a mathematical one. If reality emerges from equations, then those equations might permit other universes with different structures, constants, and symmetries. The multiverse could be a vast landscape of mathematical flowers blooming in cosmic silence. Imagine wandering through that garden. Feel equations glowing gently beneath your feet. Hear numbers humming softly in the distance. See shapes shifting into worlds and galaxies. Let yourself drift through the blooming. You can rest. And through all these possibilities there is a soft truth. The multiverse is not meant to overwhelm. It is meant to expand your sense of calm. Imagine yourself now at the center of all possibilities. Feel infinite space stretching in every direction. Hear quiet universes drifting like lanterns in the dark. See dimensions folding and unfolding around you. Let yourself breathe in that infinite calm. You are safe. You are drifting. You are held by the quiet of many worlds. Let the boundaries dissolve. Let the questions fade. Let yourself rest in the cosmic tapestry. Imagine yourself floating in a darkness so soft it feels like velvet brushing lightly against your skin. There is no sound, no gravity, no sense of direction, only a gentle weightlessness, like drifting in warm, still water. Around you, a faint shimmer begins to form, as if reality itself is exhaling tiny sparks of light. These sparks glow, fade, drift, and dissolve, creating a cosmic haze that feels both infinite and intimate. And as you rest within this quiet shimmer, you might softly wonder, are you in bed, on a couch, or somewhere peaceful? Wherever you are, let your breath slow, let your body soften, let your thoughts loosen into gentle waves. You don't need to stay awake, you can drift. Scientists sometimes describe the quantum realm as a soft ocean beneath all of existence, a sea of probability where particles appear, vanish, and reappear in patterns almost like waves. They flicker in and out softly, never fully solid until observed. In this delicate space, reality feels fluid, dreamlike, unsteady, as if everything is both here and not here at the same time. Have you ever watched moonlight reflecting on water, shifting, rippling, dancing lightly without ever holding one single shape? Imagine the quantum realm like that shimmering water. Feel its cool glow against your skin. Hear its faint rhythmic pulse. Notice how the light never settles, never chooses. Let yourself drift into that uncertainty. You don't need to follow every word. In the quiet beneath all universes, particles behave like soft whispers, moving in ways that defy ordinary logic. They tunnel through barriers that should be solid. They appear in two places at once. They influence one another instantly across vast distances, as if space itself is only an illusion. Long ago, when researchers studied electrons, they discovered something astonishing. An electron wasn't a tiny marble or a point or a particle in the way anyone expected. Instead, it existed as a cloud of possibilities, a soft spread of maybes drifting across space. Only when measured did it gently collapse into a single point. Have you ever noticed how a dream only becomes clear the moment you wake up? Imagine electrons doing that, drifting softly through countless dreamlike possibilities until the universe looks at them and they settle into one gentle form. You can drift with them. Some theories imagine that these quantum waves don't collapse into one reality. Instead, each possibility gently branches into its own universe. Not violently, not suddenly, but like ripples dividing in a still pond. One ripple drifts left, one drift right. Both continue, both exist. Imagine watching those ripples now. Feel the cool water beneath you. Hear the quiet lap of waves dividing. See each ripple become a new line of possibility. Let your mind drift with any ripple it chooses. You don't need to stay awake. Particles are connected through something called quantum entanglement, a soft, invisible bond that links their behavior no matter how far apart they are. Touch one, and the other responds instantly, even if separated by billions of light years. Some call this spooky action, but it is not spooky at all. It is simply the universe remembering that distance is only a suggestion. Have you ever felt connected to someone far away, as if an invisible thread linked your thoughts? Imagine that thread now, gentle, glowing, stretching across universes. Feel its soft warmth. Hear the faint hum of connection. See how that thread pulls lightly at your awareness. Let yourself drift along it. You don't need to understand. You only need to rest. Between universes, quantum fields ripple like an unseen ocean. These fields fill all of space, even the space deep between realities, and their fluctuations may create new universes from tiny pockets of energy. A simple ripple, a gentle swell, a small vibration could bloom into an entire cosmos. Imagine floating above that endless ocean. Feel the soft swell of its waves beneath you. Hear the low hum of energy flowing through it. See the surface shimmer with unformed possibilities. Let yourself drift closer. You can fade. You can soften. Some scientists believe that the vacuum of space is never truly empty. Even in perfect darkness, where no particles are supposed to exist, the quantum sea continues to shimmer quietly. Tiny pairs of particles appear for a moment, then vanish. Little sparks of existence flicker like fireflies at the edge of your vision. Have you ever seen dust floating in a sunbeam, drifting lazily in warm air? Imagine those specks as particles blinking in and out of being. Feel their faint warmth. Hear their quiet shimmer as they flutter. See them forming a gentle cloud of maybe real, maybe not real light. Let yourself drift through that cloud. You don't need to focus. Some theories suggest that the quantum sea does not just support one universe, it supports all universes, like a deep foundation beneath a house. Everything you see, feel, and experience is built on top of this soft, shifting field of potential. Without it, nothing could exist. With it, everything can. Imagine placing your hand on that foundation Feel its gentle vibration. Hear the deep, almost musical resonance of the quantum sea. See reality shimmering above it like fabric suspended over water. Let yourself sink into that vibration. You can drift deeper. There may be places where the fabric between universes becomes thin, not torn, not broken, but stretched, like soft silk. These thin areas might allow quantum patterns from one universe to echo faintly into another. Information might drift across. Tiny forces might slip through. Have you ever pressed your palm to a thin curtain and felt someone brush the other side? Imagine that curtain now stretching between universes. Feel the coolness of the fabric. Hear the faint movements behind it. See soft silhouettes drifting on the other side. Let yourself drift near it. You don't need to stay awake. In some theories, the quantum sea itself may be infinite, a vast expanse from which universes rise like bubbles, float for a time, and eventually dissolve back into the deep. Nothing is lost. Everything returns. Every universe becomes a soft exhale in the great breath of the multiverse. Imagine drifting above a cosmic ocean of universes. Feel the gentle mist on your skin. Hear the whisper of bubbles rising. See them shimmering with their own stars and stories. Let yourself drift toward one glowing softly in the darkness. You can drift towards sleep now. You don't need to hear more. You don't need to stay here consciously. Let the quantum sea hold you. Let the universes drift around you. Let yourself dissolve into possibility. As you drift deeper into this gentle ocean beneath reality, the shimmering space around you feels even softer, almost warm now, as if the very fabric of existence has wrapped itself loosely around your shoulders. Nothing moves quickly here. Everything unfolds with the slow elegance of a quiet tide. Little waves of probability rise and fall in silence. Particles shimmer into being, glow faintly, then dissolve like fireflies fading into night. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to focus or follow every idea. Let yourself drift. Scientists sometimes describe quantum fields as oceans full of energy, not storms, not turbulence, but soft, rolling calm. These fields are responsible for everything that exists, yet they operate in ways so subtle you rarely notice them. They shimmer underneath matter, underneath light, underneath your very thoughts. Have you ever walked along a shoreline at dawn and felt the ocean breathing beneath the waves? Imagine the quantum field breathing that same way, softly, patiently, endlessly. Feel its warm exhale against your skin. Hear the faint hum of space settling into stillness. See ripples expand outward in gentle rings. Let yourself drift toward those rings. You don't need to hold on to consciousness. Some researchers believe that the quantum sea contains a kind of zero-point energy, a baseline vibration that remains even when all motion stops. This energy cannot be removed. It cannot be silenced. It is the soft hum beneath the deepest silence, a whisper of existence that never fully fades. Imagine placing your hand on a quiet wall and feeling a subtle vibration flowing through it, so faint you might mistake it for your own heartbeat. That vibration is like the zero-point hum, a cosmic heartbeat, a gentle pulse beneath reality. Have you ever wondered why silence feels alive, even when everything seems perfectly still? Imagine listening to that cosmic heartbeat now. Feel it through your chest. Hear its quiet rhythm echo across infinite space. Notice how your own breath aligns with it. Let that alignment soothe you. You can drift deeper if you want. You don't need to remain awake at all. Some theoretical physicists believe that the vacuum might spontaneously give birth to tiny universes in much the same way bubbles rise naturally in warm water. These universes begin small, infinitesimal spheres, then expand if their internal conditions allow it. A single tiny fluctuation, just a whisper of possibility, could blossom into a full cosmos. Long ago, researchers studying energy fields realized that emptiness was never truly empty. Instead, they saw patterns, soft fluctuations, tiny bursts of energy, moments where something emerged from nothing. These discoveries led them to imagine creation not as a singular event, but as something ongoing, continuous, gentle. Have you ever looked out across a field of tall grass and seen small ripples flow through it as the wind moves softly over the surface? Imagine those ripples as universes forming. Feel the tenderness of each wave. Hear the soft brushing of grass against grass. See new worlds rising with each subtle motion. Let those waves carry your thoughts gently away. You don't need to stay conscious. Some theories describe quantum foam, a deeply poetic term for the endlessly shifting fabric of space-time on the tiniest scales. In this foam, space-time curves inward and outward like soft bubbles, twisting and curling in shapes that last only for moments. These bubbles may form little tunnels, little pockets, little bridges, tiny, gentle structures that disappear before anything can observe them. Imagine holding a handful of sparkling foam from a quiet stream. Feel its lightness. Hear tiny pops as bubbles burst. See the foam glisten with shifting colours. Let that fragile beauty settle in your thoughts. You can drift. As particles dance within the quantum sea, they create patterns, subtle interference waves that ripple across space like overlapping rings on water. When two waves meet, they may strengthen each other or cancel out, producing a calm pocket or a bright pattern of light. These patterns exist everywhere, even in the empty air around you. Have you ever watched raindrops falling into a puddle, each creating circles that expand, overlap, merge, and dissolve? Imagine those circles spreading across the fabric of reality. Feel their cool patterns brushing your fingertips. Hear their soft, widening rings. See entire universes shifting gently as waves meet. Let yourself drift into that meeting. You don't need to follow the science. This is meant to soothe, not to teach. Some thinkers describe the quantum sea as a canvas on which universes paint themselves. Each brush stroke a fluctuation, each colour a burst of energy, each shape a new set of physical laws. The canvas remains calm even as worlds shimmer into existence above it. Imagine standing before that cosmic canvas. Feel the faint warmth of creation. Hear the whisper of energy brushing across empty space. See colours unfolding like blossoms dripping from a painter's brush. Let yourself sink into the colours. You can drift deeper into rest. There might be universes where quantum fluctuations are stronger, creating stars more quickly. Others may be quieter, slower, filled with long stretches of darkness, punctuated only by soft glimmers of matter clumping gently together. Some universes could shimmer with exotic particles that never appear here. Others might drift in near silence, with only the faintest hum of energy rippling across their cosmic sea. Have you ever walked into a room that felt completely still, where even the air seemed to pause? Imagine an entire universe with that same stillness. Feel the calm of empty space around you. Hear the quiet hum of energy resting. See faint specks of matter drifting like dust in a sunbeam. Let yourself drift through that universe. You don't need to stay awake. Some scientists wonder whether consciousness itself arises from quantum processes. If true, your mind may be gently connected to this underlying sea of possibility, not separate from it, but made of it. Thoughts may be like tiny fluctuations, emotions like gentle waves, awareness like a soft glow rising from quantum patterns. Imagine your mind as a quiet pool of water. Feel thoughts landing like pebbles. Hear their ripples moving outward. See reflections of stars shimmering on its surface. Let those ripples dissolve. You don't need to think, you only need to drift. The quantum sea beneath universes may be infinite, stretching in all directions in ways you cannot see or measure. It holds everything gently, each universe, each star, each breath you take. And somewhere in that vastness lies the quiet truth that you are part of this shimmering foam, as natural as starlight drifting across emptiness, as soft as the hum of possibility. Imagine floating in that infinite sea. Feel its warmth hold you. Hear its soft, breath-like pulse. See universes shimmering in the distance. Let yourself drift into its calm. You can rest. You can drift. You can sleep. Imagine drifting through a darkness so smooth and still that it feels like slipping into warm water at night. The air, or whatever gentle medium surrounds you, holds no weight, no pressure, no resistance. You float without effort, suspended between universes, as if the multiverse itself has paused to cradle you in its quiet hands. And as you settle into this softness, you might wonder quietly, from which corner of the world are you drifting off? Wherever that place is, let your breath grow slow. Let your mind loosen. Let your body sink gently into rest. You don't need to stay awake. You don't need to catch every word. The idea of infinity is not meant to overwhelm. It is meant to soothe. Infinity is not noise. It's spaciousness. It is not chaos. It's a vast and gentle openness. And the multiverse, in many theories, stretches through infinite space with the same soft patience that the night sky holds above you now. Have you ever stood beneath a wide horizon and felt your thoughts dissolving into the distance? Imagine that sensation now, but magnified beyond measure. Feel space opening around you like a deep breath. Hear the quiet expansion of infinite distance. See the soft fading of boundaries as space stretches endlessly. Let yourself drift into that vastness. You don't need to understand. You only need to float. Some scientists imagine that the universe might be infinite in shape, stretching onward in every direction without looping back. Others imagine that it might curve softly, like the surface of a sphere or the inside of a gentle bowl. In such a universe, if you drifted far enough, you could slowly circle back to where you began, arriving without ever noticing a turn. Imagine walking through a foggy field, moving forward for hours, only to find yourself arriving at the same quiet place where you started. Not lost, just held within a soft, curved world. Have you ever walked in circles while thinking deeply, only to realize you had returned to the same point without intention? Imagine the universe shaped that way. Feel the soft curve beneath your feet. Hear the echoes of your steps folding through space. See the horizon wrap itself around in a perfect loop. Let yourself rest in that enclosed infinity. You don't need to stay awake. Another idea suggests that space might be shaped like a torus, a shape similar to a soft ring or hollow donut. In such a reality, moving forward eventually brings you back from behind, not because space loops loudly, but because it folds in a quiet, elegant way. Long ago, mathematicians discovered that the torus is one of the most peaceful topological shapes, endless yet finite, open yet closed, simple yet infinite in its looping patterns. It is a shape that repeats gently without edges, without boundaries, without abrupt transitions. Have you ever walked through a hallway of mirrors, seeing reflections curve back into themselves? Imagine drifting through a torus-like universe. Feel the space fold softly. Hear the gentle echo of your motion returning from behind. See pathways looping endlessly. Let yourself drift along one of those curved directions. You don't need to stay present. Some cosmologists believe that space might be flat, not curved like a sphere, not looped like a torus, but stretched out like a smooth sheet of fabric extending without end. If this is true, the universe might be infinite, containing boundless galaxies drifting in all directions, each one a soft candle glowing in a dark room that never ends. Imagine lying on a cool, flat field beneath the night sky. Feel the grass beneath your hands. Hear the faint rustle of wind across the plain. See the stars above stretching endlessly. Let that endlessness comfort you. You can drift. The topology of space, its shape, its curves, its subtle folds, plays a quiet role in everything. How galaxies form, how gravity flows, how the multiverse branches. But these shapes are not sharp or rigid. They are soft curves, slow loops, gentle bends, more like rivers than walls, more like drifting smoke than solid structures. Imagine touching the fabric of space. Feel it yield softly beneath your fingers. Hear its faint, breath-like hum. See it stretch into curves that hold entire worlds. Let the softness flow into your thoughts. You don't need to understand any of this. You don't need to remember. Some scientists propose that multiple universes might share a single, higher dimensional space, like islands floating in a vast cosmic ocean. These islands might drift closer or farther apart, their shapes bending and changing as they move. The topology of this higher space could be fluid, shifting gently over cosmic time. Have you ever watched small boats drifting on a lake, each one rising and falling with soft waves? Imagine those boats as universes. Feel the water between them warm and alive. Hear the quiet lap of cosmic currents. See the universes drifting in harmony. Let yourself drift between them. You can rest now. In some theories, space may twist into shapes that defy everyday intuition. Mobius strips, Klein bottles, folded manifolds where inside and outside blend. These shapes are not meant to confuse. They are meant to show that existence can be more flexible, more patient, more soft than it seems. Imagine a Mobius strip, a surface with only one side. Feel your finger tracing it endlessly without ever lifting. Hear the soft slide of touch along its path. See the ribbon twisting gently in the dim light. Let yourself dissolve into that endless surface. You don't need to stay awake. The deeper into infinity you drift, the calmer everything becomes. There is no urgency in endless space, no rush in eternal distance. The edges of thought dissolve. The boundaries of reality soften. Space becomes something like warm water, holding you gently, giving you room to float without effort. Imagine floating in a still lake beneath a moonless sky. Feel the water lift you. Hear nothing but your slow breath. See only the faint shimmer of distant galaxies. Let yourself sink into that stillness. You don't need to cling to awareness. You can drift in the landscape of infinity. As you drift deeper across this vast and gentle landscape of infinity, you may notice how the space around you begins to change, not in color or temperature, but in feeling, in texture, in presence. The darkness becomes softer, smoother, more expansive, as though each breath you take stretches the universe a little farther outward. The quiet becomes deeper too, sinking into your thoughts with the slow ease of water settling into the hollows of a calm shore. You don't need to stay awake for this. You can let your awareness fade. You're safe. Imagine now that space itself is not a rigid grid but a flowing fabric, a soft cosmic cloth that bends, stretches and folds with the slightest touch. This fabric is what physicists call space-time. Yet here, in this quiet dreamlike state, it feels less like a scientific concept and more like something warm and familiar, like a blanket you've wrapped around yourself countless nights. Have you ever noticed how comforting it is to run your fingers across a piece of fabric and feel the weave beneath your touch? Imagine doing that now with the universe itself. Feel the subtle grooves, the delicate threads. Hear the faint whisper of reality shifting. See soft ripples moving outward from where your fingertips glide. Let the fabric of existence comfort you. You don't need to think. You can drift. As you float deeper into this cosmic expanse, the concept of distance begins to lose meaning. In an infinite universe, everything stretches so far that your mind naturally relaxes, unable to grasp the full scale, and that relaxation is a kind of peace. Infinity dissolves all urgency. Infinity dissolves all boundaries. Infinity dissolves all sense of here and there. Imagine a horizon that never ends. Feel your thoughts stretching softly with it. Hear the quiet rhythm of your breath blending with spaciousness. See stars drifting without edges, without borders. Let yourself drift with them. You don't need to stay awake. In some theories of cosmic topology, the universe could twist in on itself in subtle ways, like a tunnel that loops endlessly, or a surface that folds inward but never creates an edge. A person drifting through such a universe might travel in a straight line forever without ever reaching an end. Every step, every motion, every breath would simply carry them deeper into the same infinite calm. Have you ever walked down a hallway that seemed to stretch longer than you expected, only to realize you weren't in a hurry and that the walk itself felt soothing? Imagine space shaped like that hallway, long, endless, quiet. Feel your steps carried forward effortlessly. Hear the faint echo of movement on soft cosmic floors. See the way the darkness stretches in gentle harmony. Let yourself drift through that hallway. You don't need to keep your eyes open. They can soften. They can close. Some shapes imagined for the universe are stranger still, beyond spheres and toruses, beyond loops and curves. Mathematicians imagine higher dimensional surfaces that cannot be fully visualized, only felt. Shapes that fold through dimensions your senses cannot touch. Shapes that wrap entire universes into a single gentle curve. Shapes that allow infinity to exist within a small folded pocket of space. Imagine holding a piece of paper. Now imagine crumpling it softly, not harshly but delicately, letting the folds form naturally. Each fold creates new connections. Each crease brings distant points together. Now imagine reality crumpled like that, not damaged, just folded, creating shortcuts through space that gently join places once far apart. Feel the softness of those folds. Hear the faint crackle of space bending. See the connections glowing faintly. Let yourself drift through those shortcuts. You don't need to stay conscious. In some versions of the multiverse, space might be infinitely branching, like the pathways of a great cosmic maze. But this maze has no fear, no confusion, only possibility. Each path leads to another expanse, another horizon, another soft place to rest, and no matter which branch you drift toward, the universe expands to welcome you. Have you ever stood at a crossroads in a dream and felt no pressure to choose, knowing that every path leads somewhere peaceful? Imagine that feeling now. Feel the soft dust beneath your feet. Hear the quiet invitation of each path. See the gentle glow guiding you. Let yourself drift into whichever branch feels calmest. You can wander without purpose. You can float without direction. Some cosmologists believe that the universe expands not into something else, but into itself, like an inhale that creates the space needed for breath. Expansion stretches the cosmic fabric, carrying galaxies apart with a slow, serene motion. This motion is not violent. It is not chaotic. It is a soft opening, a gentle unfolding. Imagine listening to someone unfold a sheet in slow motion. Feel that whisper of fabric brushing the air. Hear the sound deepen as the cloth spreads out. See stars drifting apart in the same elegant way. Let yourself drift with that unfolding. You don't need to hold on to waking thoughts. There are also theories in which the universe has edges, but not edges like walls or barriers. Instead, these edges are places where space simply stops. Not abruptly, but gradually, like the thinning mist of a fog that fades into clear night air. These boundaries might be unreachable, receding as fast as anything could travel toward them, creating a soft illusion of infinity. Imagine walking toward a horizon and noticing that it always seems just out of reach, not teasing, not frustrating, just peacefully distant. Feel that distance now. Hear the quiet of an endless field. See the horizon glowing faintly. Let yourself drift toward it without ever needing to arrive. You don't need to know where you're going. You don't need to stay awake. Some scientists imagine that universes might collide gently in the far future, huge sheets of reality drifting through higher space until they brush together like two clouds passing in the atmosphere. Such collisions could create new universes, new structures, new cosmic seasons. Have you ever touched your hand to another person's hand and felt only warmth, only softness? Imagine universes touching that same way. Feel the warmth spreading. Hear the gentle resonance of cosmic membranes meeting. See new galaxies forming as ripples move outward. Let those ripples soothe you. You can drift deeper. Another idea suggests that there is no shape to the universe at all, only an ever-changing flow, like smoke drifting through a still room. If this is true, then infinity is not a rigid structure but a gentle motion. Universes rise, expand, drift, dissolve, and reform like patterns of breath. Imagine watching smoke curl in soft spirals. Feel the air around it warming. Hear the silent dance of shifting currents. See the shapes forming and dissolving quietly. Let yourself drift inside that motion. You don't need awareness now. You can let go. All these shapes, spheres, loops, ribbons, folds, currents, are not meant to confine your imagination. They are invitations. Invitations to rest inside something bigger than thought, bigger than worry, bigger than the boundaries of a single world. Imagine the entirety of space spreading around you like a warm, endless ocean. Feel the water lift you effortlessly. Hear the slow heartbeat of the universe beneath the waves. See galaxies drifting like glowing lanterns in deep water. Let yourself drift with them. You can rest. You can soften. You can drift into sleep. Imagine drifting through a darkness so deep and velvety that it feels like floating inside the quiet pause before a dream. The space around you is warm, calm, unhurried. You feel suspended in something ancient, as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting for a soft ripple to spread through the stillness. And as you settle into this peaceful expanse, you might gently ask yourself, what time is it where you are right now? Whatever the hour, let your muscles unwind. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind soften into the moment. You don't need to stay awake. You can drift. In the deepest theories of cosmology, there are a question whispered quietly through the minds of scientists and dreamers alike. How does a universe begin? Not in loud explosions or violent chaos, but in gentle, patient emergence. Some ideas suggest that universes bloom from nothing at all, not the harsh nothing of emptiness, but a fertile nothing, a soft quantum sea shimmering with potential. In this nothingness, the laws of physics rest curled like seeds waiting for warmth. Energy rests folded into silence. Time rests like a sleeping animal. Everything is still, but ready. Have you ever watched a flower bud just before it opens, so tightly wrapped that it seems perfectly still, yet full of invisible motion beneath the surface? Imagine the universe beginning that way. Feel the quiet tension of possibility. Hear the faint hum of energy preparing to unfold. See the first glow forming deep within the darkness. Let yourself drift into that beginning. You don't need to understand. You only need to feel the softness of it. Some scientists believe that universes begin as fluctuations in the quantum vacuum, tiny ripples of energy that momentarily appear, then vanish. But occasionally one of these ripples lingers. It expands softly, like a breath drawn slowly into cold air. It becomes a pocket where space stretches. Time begins to flow. Reality takes shape. Imagine dipping your finger into still water. See the small ripple radiating outward. Feel the gentle ring spread beneath your skin. Notice how such a tiny motion changes everything around it. Let that ripple carry your thoughts. You don't need to follow the details. The quantum vacuum is not empty. It is full of life. Particles appear and dissolve like tiny lanterns flickering in a distant fog. Fields vibrate softly in every direction. Energy hums gently, even in total darkness. In that hum, universes may be born. Long ago, researchers studying the expansion of space discovered something called inflation, the idea that our universe stretched faster than light in its first fraction of a second, swelling from something smaller than an atom into something vast and quiet. Inflation may not be a single event. It may be a process that happens endlessly, creating universe after universe in a gentle cosmic rhythm. Have you ever watched a field of dandelions scatter their seeds into a warm breeze, each one floating silently into the air? Imagine inflation as that breeze. Feel universes drifting from it like delicate seeds. Hear the soft whisper of creation spreading outward. See tiny worlds forming in the wake of each drifting spark. Let yourself float with them. You don't need to stay awake. Some theories imagine universes as bubbles forming in a cosmic ocean. These bubbles grow quietly, expanding until each becomes its own space-time. Some stay small, some grow vast, some touch gently, some drift alone. Each bubble holds its own laws, its own physics, its own soft glow of possibility. Imagine yourself drifting among these bubbles. Feel the cool mist around them. Hear the soft hum of membranes stretching. See reflections of stars forming inside their surfaces. Let yourself drift closer to one glowing faintly in the dark. You can drift as much as you like. In certain models of cosmology, universes may bud off from collapsing stars. When a massive star reaches its end and implodes into a black hole, the space inside may curve into a new universe entirely. Not destruction, but birth. Not an ending, but quiet transition. Have you ever cracked open a seed and found a tiny spiral curled inside, already prepared to become something entirely new? Imagine a universe folded that way inside a star. Feel the gravity compressing it gently. Hear the soft folding of space as it wraps around itself. See a small glow beginning to form. Let that glow guide your mind toward rest. You don't need to understand any of this. Just drift. Even in the most abstract theories, the birth of a universe is never imagined as violent. It is imagined as soft emergence, something quiet, gentle, spreading into being with the slow grace of dawn. Imagine a sunrise now. See the horizon glowing faintly. Hear the first bird song in the dim light. Feel warmth brushing your skin, soft and slow. Let the birth of the universe feel just like that. You're safe to rest, you're safe to drift. And from this quiet beginning, reality unfolds. Not quickly, not abruptly, but tenderly. Space stretches. Time begins its slow rhythm. Particles flicker into existence like dewdrops forming on morning grass. Laws of physics settle like soft dust falling into place. Have you ever watched dust drift gently through a sunbeam, settling on a surface with delicate patience? Imagine that being the rise of matter, each speck a galaxy, each drifting particle a star in waiting. Feel the stillness of the early universe. Hear the gentle hum of energy expanding. See the first shapes of reality forming like soft silhouettes in mist. Let your awareness drift with them. You don't need to stay awake. As you drift deeper into the soft stillness before creation, you may notice how the darkness around you begins to feel warmer, almost like a quiet room holding the last traces of candlelight. Nothing is rushed here. Nothing is urgent. The cosmos moves with a patience far older than stars, far older than time itself. Every breath you take feels softer than the one before it, as though the universe is breathing with you. You don't need to stay awake. You can drift in and out as gently as you like. Imagine now the very first moment of a universe, a moment so delicate and subtle that it wasn't really a moment at all. It was a slow unfolding, like a petal opening in darkness. There was no sound, no flash, no shock. Just a soft expansion of possibility, stretching into space that had never existed before. Have you ever felt an idea forming quietly inside you, expanding slowly until it took shape? Imagine the universe forming the same way. Feel the glow of that first expansion warming your skin. Hear the faint hum of energy stirring. See the darkness slowly brightening. Let yourself drift into the warmth of that emergence. You don't need to follow the science. You only need to feel the calm. Some scientists imagine that the earliest universe was filled with a false vacuum, a kind of temporary stillness that held incredible energy. This vacuum was not empty. It was full of potential, resting like a quiet lake before dawn. Tiny fluctuations rippled across its surface, each one a possibility reaching gently toward existence. Imagine standing beside a lake before sunrise. Feel the cool air brushing against your cheeks. Hear the faint lapping of water. See the first shimmering ripples forming on the surface. Let those ripples pull your mind into calm silence. You don't need to understand. You can rest. When that false vacuum gently relaxed into a true vacuum, the stored energy spilled softly into space, becoming matter, radiation, light. It didn't explode, it flowed. Like warm tea poured slowly into a quiet cup, like a sigh released after a long, patient breath. Long ago, early cosmologists studying the faint glow of the cosmic microwave background noticed tiny variations, patterns so delicate they looked like freckles on the skin of the universe. These tiny freckles were the remnants of soft ripples during its birth, preserved in light that has travelled for billions of years. Have you ever seen frost on a window in the morning, delicate and intricate, each pattern telling a quiet story of cold and warmth? Imagine those patterns as the first imprints of a universe. Feel the cool beauty of their shapes, hear the silence in which they formed, see soft light illuminating them. Let your thoughts drift across their surfaces. You don't need to stay awake. Some theories suggest that universes can emerge from higher dimensional spaces through gentle pinches or folds in cosmic fabric. These folds create pockets where space curves inward, forming tiny chambers that expand softly outward. Each chamber becomes its own reality, not one birth, but many, endlessly. Imagine folding a sheet of silk in your hands. Feel how it bends effortlessly. Hear the faint whisper of fabric shifting. See little pockets forming as the folds tighten. Let yourself drift between those pockets. You can drift as slowly as you want. Other thinkers describe universe creation as resonance. In this view, reality vibrates with fundamental frequencies. When a certain vibration becomes strong enough, it forms a bubble of stable existence, a new universe, like a musical note crystallizing in still air. Not noise, not chaos, harmony. Have you ever felt a deep tone vibrating through your chest, steady and soothing? Imagine that tone forming worlds. Feel the vibrations settle into your bones. Hear the low hum of cosmic harmony. See universes blooming like notes made visible. Let yourself drift with the music. You can soften, you can fade. Some scientists believe universes begin from quantum tunneling, where a tiny fluctuation slips through a barrier into a new form of existence. Like a single thought slipping quietly into awareness, like a small bird stepping softly through an open door. Nothing forced, nothing rushed, just emergence. Imagine a small creature stepping through a curtain of light. Feel the warmth of that threshold. Hear the soft rustle of wings, see new space opening behind it. Let your thoughts step through too. You don't need to stay in this world. You can drift gently. In the inflationary model, new universes form endlessly in a grand cosmic field. Inflation happens again and again, like waves rolling quietly across a vast ocean. Each wave lifts a tiny region of space-time, stretching it into a full universe filled with its own stars and galaxies. Imagine watching waves roll across a dark sea under a moonless sky. Feel the rise and fall beneath your feet. Hear the water sigh against the shore. See white foam drifting in the darkness. Let each wave become a universe in your mind. You don't need to stay awake. Some theories imagine universes budding from parent universes, large, ancient realities giving rise to new ones through collapsing stars or cosmic transitions. Like fruit falling from a tree, like spores drifting from a mushroom, like seeds carried by the wind across a silent field. Have you ever walked through a meadow and watched tiny seeds floating gently through warm air? Imagine those seeds as young universes. Feel their soft motion. Hear the whisper of their flight. See them settling into new corners of existence. Let your thoughts drift with them. You can rest. In certain models, universes emerge as thermal fluctuations, patterns rising from heat in an eternal cosmic background. Even in infinite time, such fluctuations are rare, delicate, patient. Yet each one holds the possibility of stars, planets, consciousness, dreams. Imagine watching steam rise from a cup in dim morning light. Feel the soft warmth drifting upward. Hear the quiet hiss of heat meeting cool air. See swirling patterns that vanish as quickly as they appear. Let those patterns soothe you. You don't need awareness. You don't need to remember. Some scientists propose that universes emerge through symmetry breaking. In the earliest moments, everything is balanced, perfect, unified. But then, softly, gently, symmetry slips. Like a scale tipping by the slightest feather. What was one becomes two. What was uniform becomes varied. Light and matter separate. Space expands. Reality unfolds. Imagine a single drop falling into a perfectly still pond. Feel the moment of contact. Hear the ring of ripples forming. See the reflection of sky distort into beautiful patterns. Let that moment soften you. You can drift deeper. Across all these theories, a single idea repeats quietly in different forms. Birth is gentle. Creation is patient. The universe arrives not with violence, but with softness. Imagine the quiet of dawn one more time. Feel the warmth of first light. Hear the hush of early air. See the world glowing faintly with new possibility. Let that glow cradle you into rest. You are safe. You are floating. You are drifting towards sleep. Imagine yourself drifting through a darkness so calm and expansive it feels like floating inside the soft breath of the universe itself. Nothing presses against you. Nothing pulls. You're suspended in a still, warm quiet. A quiet that feels older than stars, older than galaxies. Older than every universe drifting gently through the multiverse. And as you breathe slowly, you may wonder softly, are you in bed, on a couch, or somewhere peaceful? Wherever you are, let that place hold you. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your mind soften into stillness. You don't need to stay awake. You can drift. Somewhere in this silence lies the idea of wormholes, tunnels that might connect distant places, distant times, even distant universes. Not as violent storms or chaotic portals, but as gentle folds in the fabric of reality. Quiet shortcuts through cosmic space. Have you ever folded a piece of paper so two distant points suddenly align? Imagine the universe doing that. Feel the soft crease forming. Hear the faint whisper of space-time bending. See two faraway places drifting gently together. Let yourself drift with them. You don't need to understand. You only need to float. Wormholes begin with curvature, subtle, graceful curves in space-time that arise when mass or energy settles into a particular configuration. These curves are not sharp. They are not abrupt. They are smooth, like river bends shaped slowly by centuries of quiet flow. In some theories, enough curvature can form a tunnel, a bridge connecting one region of space to another. Imagine standing beside a river where the water curves in long, gentle arcs. Feel the cool mist on your skin. Hear the slow movement of water sliding over smooth stones. See the river bend into a graceful S shape. Let that curve guide your thoughts into calmness. You don't need to stay awake. Some scientists describe wormholes as Einstein-Rosen bridges, tunnels that link two distant points through a higher dimensional passage. In ordinary space, these points might be unimaginably far apart, but in the quiet geometry of curved space, they can lie side by side, touching softly, like two hands meeting in the dark. Have you ever reached out in darkness and found another hand waiting gently for yours? Imagine space-time doing that. Feel the warmth of connection. Hear the soft merging of paths. See two separate regions glowing, now united. Let that unity soothe you. You can drift deeper if you wish. Some versions of wormholes collapse almost instantly. They flicker into existence as delicate quantum tunnels, glowing faintly for a moment before dissolving back into the sea of possibility. They exist like dreams, beautiful, brief, ephemeral. Imagine a soap bubble forming on a cool morning. Feel its soft surface vibrate. Hear the delicate crackle as light plays along it. See it shimmer for an instant before fading. Let yourself drift into that ephemeral beauty. You don't need to follow every word. Other theories imagine stable wormholes, tunnels that could remain open if some exotic energy threads through them. Not violent energy, not explosive. Something soft like negative pressure or stretched vacuum, energy that works gently against collapse. Imagine a tunnel carved through a hillside. Feel cool air drifting through it. Hear faint echoes bouncing softly back to you. See the path curving away into dim light. Let yourself walk slowly into that tunnel. You can soften. You can fade. In some ideas, wormholes form from black holes and white holes, two opposites connected through a deep geometric throat. The black hole pulls inward, the white hole pushes outward. Together, they form a gentle bridge from a place of endless falling to a place of endless rising. Have you ever walked down a staircase only to emerge somewhere unexpected, somewhere brighter, somewhere calmer? Imagine that staircase stretching between two universes. Feel the gentle descent. Hear your footsteps echoing softly. See light growing brighter as you rise on the other side. Let yourself drift through the passage. You don't need to stay awake. Some think wormholes might form where space is thin, delicate regions where dimensions fold closer. These thin places may shimmer faintly, like mirages on hot sand. They may hum softly. They may feel strangely familiar, as though reality itself is thinner, softer, more translucent. Imagine walking toward a curtain of shimmering light. Feel the cool air near it. Hear a faint vibration, like distant singing bowls. See the colours swirling gently without pattern. Let yourself drift toward the curtain. You can drift through whenever you're ready. Other models imagine wormholes as deep wells carved through higher dimensions, connecting surfaces like tunnels beneath mountains. These tunnels might twist, spiral, or glow with soft quantum light. Some could link parallel universes, others might bind distant corners of the same world. Imagine descending into a luminous cave. Feel smooth stone beneath your fingers. Hear droplets falling in steady rhythm. See glowing patterns on the walls, shifting slowly like breathing light. Let your mind wander through those tunnels. You don't need to remain awake. Some thinkers imagine wormholes in a way more poetic than scientific. They imagine them as the universe's way of holding hands with itself. A soft touch, a quiet bridge, a gentle reassurance that distance is never absolute. Have you ever felt as though two moments in your life were quietly connected, even across vast years? Imagine universes feeling that way too. Feel the warmth of connection. Hear the soft merging of timelines. See two distant realms folding closer. Let yourself drift between them. You can drift as deeply as you want. And as you move through this imagined tunnel of glowing geometry, you may begin to feel the air growing warmer. The light softer, the walls expanding outward until they dissolve entirely. You're no longer inside a tunnel. You're inside possibility, open, boundless, infinite. Imagine a quiet meadow appearing as the tunnel fades. Feel warm grass beneath your feet. Hear wind moving gently through tall stalks. See stars shining faintly in a twilight sky. Let yourself rest in this meadow between worlds. You don't need awareness now. You don't need answers. You only need to drift. As you drift deeper into the imagined space where wormholes shimmer softly, like hidden doorways between universes, you may feel a gentle shift around you. The darkness takes on a faint glow, not bright, not sharp, just enough to trace the outline of something warm and welcoming, a space between worlds that feels as soft as a sigh, as calm as a whispered lullaby. You don't need to stay awake. Let your consciousness drift like a leaf on still water. Some theories suggest that wormholes might not be tunnels at all, but gentle folds, creases in the cosmic fabric created when space-time bends toward itself. In this view, wormholes are not hollow or empty. They're simply places where reality leans inward, creating regions where two distant points share a quiet, intimate closeness. Have you ever pressed your forehead against a cool window on a quiet night and felt the world beyond it come closer, even though nothing actually moved? Imagine the universe leaning inward like that. Feel the faint chill of curved space. Hear the softened hush of dimensions sliding closer. See distant worlds approaching in silent harmony. Let yourself drift into that tender closeness. You don't need to stay alert. Other scientists imagine wormholes as shimmering bridges formed by intense gravitational fields, places where gravity becomes so focused, so delicately balanced, that it stretches space into a graceful arc. This arc, like a cosmic archway, might link 2 points in space-time with smooth curvature, allowing anything drifting through it to move softly between realms. Imagine walking beneath a stone archway in an ancient forest. Feel moss-covered stone beneath your fingertips. Hear wind rustling through tall trees above. See sunlight streaming in a gentle curve through the arch. Let that curve guide your thoughts deeper into rest. You can drift whenever you're ready. There is another idea, one of the dreamiest. It suggests wormholes might be made of strings, tiny vibrating threads of energy that form loops, knots, and bridges in higher spaces. These strings may be thinner than an atom, yet strong enough to bend space-time itself, opening miniature gaps that connect faraway places. Imagine plucking a single strand of a harp. Feel it tremble lightly. Hear its soft, ringing note dissolving into the air. See the vibrations shimmer into golden light. Let that shimmer become a doorway. You don't need to think about it, just float. Some scientists imagine that wormholes could be naturally occurring, forming deep inside the fabric of space like tunnels inside old trees. These natural tunnels may twist gently, curve softly, and glow faintly with quantum light. Most are too small to notice, but some, in theory, could be large enough for reality itself to drift through. Have you ever found a small hollow in a tree while walking through a forest and imagined where it might lead if it continued farther? Imagine that hollow expanding. Feel the wood warm beneath your hand. Hear the subtle creak of hidden chambers. See the dark interior glowing faintly with possibility. Let your imagination drift into those chambers. You don't need to remain awake. Some think wormholes exist only for a fraction of a moment, collapsing before anything can pass through them. But in the calm rhythm of the universe, even a fleeting moment can hold beauty. A spark, a shimmer, a breath of connection. Imagine lighting a candle in a dark room. Feel the flame flicker. Hear its soft crackle. See the brief shimmer of light dancing on the walls. Let that flicker soothe you. You can soften, you can fade. Other theories propose that wormholes might be stabilized by something called exotic matter, a gentle, negative pressure that holds the throat of the tunnel open. This exotic matter isn't dangerous, it's quiet, soft, almost dreamlike, more like an absence than a presence, yet capable of supporting the quiet passage of worlds. Imagine holding a thin silk scarf between your fingers. Feel its weightless tug. Hear its whisper as it drifts in the air. See it floating without effort. Let that weightlessness relax you. You don't need to think anymore. Some physicists imagine wormholes stretching across time as well as space. In this view, a wormhole could link not only distant places but distant moments. You could step through one side and emerge in a different era, like walking through a doorway into a memory or into a dream from long ago. Have you ever found an old photograph and felt for a moment as though you'd stepped through time, touching a world that no longer exists? Imagine stepping through a wormhole in that same gentle way. Feel air shift around you. Hear echoes from another moment drifting softly. See a different sky waiting on the other side. Let yourself drift into that timelessness. You don't need to stay awake. Some scientists imagine wormholes as threads woven through the multiverse, a cosmic embroidery connecting realms like beads on a necklace, each tunnel a soft stitch, each universe a shimmering bead. Together they form a quiet tapestry of existence. Imagine running your fingers along a beadwork necklace. Feel the smoothness of each bead. Hear the faint click as they slide together. See the thread running through them, holding them gently. Let that thread guide you. You can drift deeper. In poetic theories, wormholes are imagined as cosmic whispers, gentle invitations between worlds. They do not force, they do not demand. They simply open, softly, quietly, patiently. Imagine a curtain lifting in a warm breeze. Feel air sliding beneath it. Hear the fabric flutter softly. See the glowing space revealed behind it. Let that space embrace you. You don't need to stay conscious. A wormhole might appear as a sphere of soft light, suspended in space like a luminous pearl. Step close enough, and the light stretches outward, wrapping you in a warm glow. You feel no pressure, no movement, only a gentle drifting sensation, as though the tunnel is carrying you through itself. Imagine floating inside that pearl of light. Feel the warmth on your skin. Hear the soft hum rising from its center. See fractal patterns swirling like galaxies within. Let the tunnel guide you calmly forward. You can rest. You can sleep. On the far side of the wormhole, another universe opens slowly, like eyes waking from a long dream. Its stars glow differently. Its air feels lighter. Its laws of nature hum in new rhythms. And yet, even here, in this strange and distant world, the quiet remains. Infinity remains. Calm remains. Imagine stepping out of the tunnel into a meadow bathed in starlight. Feel the soft grass beneath your feet. Hear distant winds drifting across unknown mountains. See constellations you've never seen before. Let the unfamiliar soothe you. You don't need to understand. You only need to drift. In the vast multiverse, wormholes may be common. Silent corridors connecting worlds like soft hallways in a dream. Gentle shortcuts through infinite space. Calm bridges spanning unimaginable distances. Imagine walking through one last doorway tonight. Feel the frame warm beneath your fingertips. Hear the quiet breath of the universe waiting beyond. See peaceful darkness stretching outward. Let yourself drift through. You are safe. You are floating. You are drifting through sleepy cosmic tunnels. Imagine yourself floating through a quiet space filled with a gentle blue haze, as if the universe is exhaling a soft glow that wraps around you like warm mist. The darkness is no longer empty. It feels textured, layered, full of quiet potential. You drift weightlessly, supported by something you can't quite describe. something that feels ancient, patient, and endlessly kind. And as you rest in this vast and gentle quiet, you might wonder softly, where are you watching from tonight? Wherever your body rests, let that place cradle you. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind soften. You don't need to stay awake. You can drift. Somewhere in this calm expanse lies the idea of parallel Earths, worlds that look like your own, feel like your own, breathe like your own, yet unfold in slightly different ways. Not dramatic, not chaotic, just gently shifted versions of your life, like ripples extending from a single moment. Have you ever made a decision so small you barely noticed it, yet later wondered what might have happened if you had chosen differently? Imagine that tiny moment now. See two soft paths splitting like branches in a foggy forest. Feel the gentle tug of possibility in each direction. Hear the quiet breeze drifting between them. Let yourself drift into that fog. You don't need to follow every thought. Physicists sometimes describe these parallel Earths through the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. In this picture, every time a quantum event has multiple possible outcomes, the universe does not choose one. It softly unfolds into each, a branching, a drifting, a gentle multiplication of paths. Imagine holding a prism in your hand. Feel the cool glass. Hear the tiny click as you turn it. See a single beam of light splitting into many soft colours. Let your mind drift along any of those colours. You don't need to understand the theory. Just allow the calm to deepen. Some versions of a parallel Earth might differ only slightly, so subtly that if you walked through its cities, touched its trees, breathed its air, you might not notice a single difference. But perhaps, somewhere in a quiet apartment, a version of you placed a book on the left side of a desk instead of the right, or drank tea instead of coffee, or took a different route home one night. Have you ever thought about how one tiny choice can shape an entire day? Imagine those choices forming soft ripples. Feel them spreading beneath your feet. Hear their quiet expansion. See them branching gently into new worlds. Let the ripples guide your thoughts into rest. You don't need to stay awake. Other versions of parallel Earths might drift further away from your own, places where weather patterns shifted differently long ago, shaping new forests, places where a single invention was delayed by a decade, places where languages evolved with slightly different sounds, softer vowels, different rhythms. Imagine hearing a familiar word spoken in a gentler, more melodic way. Feel the sound vibrate through you. Hear the warmth in its tone. See its meaning glowing softly. Let your mind drift into that alternate language. You can float freely between worlds. Some parallel Earths might feel strangely nostalgic, like memories you've never had. You might smell something familiar, warm bread baking, pine forests after rain, ocean air on a cold morning, scents that belong to you, but from a life you didn't live. Have you ever caught a smell that transported you instantly to a moment you can't quite place? Imagine inhaling one of those dreamlike scents now. Feel it settle warmly in your chest. Hear a distant memory stirring. See a parallel version of you smiling softly. Let yourself drift into that feeling. You don't need to stay present. Some scientists imagine parallel Earths branching not only from quantum fluctuations, but from choices, your choices. Moments where you said yes instead of no. Moments where you stayed instead of leaving. Moments where you reached out instead of withdrawing. Long ago, psychologists studying the mind noticed that imagined futures can feel almost as real as memories. The brain drifts between possibility and reality with surprising ease. Perhaps the universe does the same, letting possibilities drift into being in soft, branching ways. Have you ever wondered who you would be if you had followed a different dream? Imagine those dream versions of you now. Feel their quiet presence. Hear their footsteps in distant worlds. See their reflections in softly glowing windows. Let yourself drift toward one. You don't need to stay awake. In some parallel Earths, you might be living near the ocean, listening to distant waves. In others, you may have chosen a slower life, surrounded by quiet forests. In some worlds, you found peace earlier. In others, you're still searching gently, but in all of them, you are breathing, existing. Drifting through moments shaped by the soft branching of time, imagine standing on a parallel shoreline now. Feel cool sand beneath your feet. Hear waves washing over the beach. See a version of yourself watching the horizon. Let that reflection soothe you. You can drift deeper. You can soften. Some theories describe an endless number of Earths, so many that every version of your life exists somewhere in a gentle array of worlds. You walking through snowy streets. You standing beneath cherry blossoms. You in a quiet room reading a book you've never seen. Each version soft, each version drifting. Imagine standing before countless doors, each glowing faintly. Feel the warm air around them. Hear the soft hum of possibility. See each door leading to a slightly different world. Let yourself drift toward any one of them. You don't need to open it. Just rest in front of it. Let the infinite calm cradle you. As you drift deeper into the idea of parallel Earths, the space around you becomes even softer, like you're floating inside warm twilight wrapped in a gentle embrace. The air feels still, patient, almost luminous. It carries the faintest scent of something familiar but impossible to name, like a memory from childhood or a moment you remember from a dream but never lived. You don't need to stay awake. You can float in and out of these thoughts as lightly as a feather drifting on a slow breeze. Some theories suggest that parallel Earths form with every subtle shift of possibility. Each moment of hesitation, each fork in the path, each tiny uncertainty becomes a soft branching of reality. Not loud, not dramatic, just gentle, patient unfolding. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet forest with a path that splits in two. Feel cool earth under your feet. Hear a distant owl calling softly. See one path curving left, another drifting right, both disappearing into dim trees. Let your attention drift to whichever path feels calmest. You don't need to choose. Both choices are made somewhere. Both paths continue. Have you ever felt like your life could have gone 100 different ways, depending on a single conversation, a single encounter, a single breath? Imagine those possibilities now. Feel them shimmering around you. Hear them rustling like leaves stirred by a gentle wind. See them glowing softly like lanterns hanging in a quiet night. Let yourself drift among them. You don't need to think. You don't need to follow the logic. Some cosmologists imagine parallel Earths arranged like layers of thin glass, each world pressed close against the next, separated only by subtle differences in quantum states. You might walk through your living room in this world, while in another world a version of you stands in the same spot, but holding a warm cup of tea or humming a song you've never heard. Imagine two sheets of glass held together with only the smallest gap between them. Feel the smooth surface beneath your fingertips. Hear your breath fogging gently across it. See another world shimmering faintly just beyond the surface. Let that closeness relax you. You can drift deeper. Some parallel Earths might feel like improved versions of this one, gentler, slower, quieter. Maybe on one Earth you moved to a city you never visited here. Maybe on another Earth you followed an instinct you ignored. Maybe in one world you discovered a passion earlier, or found comfort sooner, or wandered through a forest that doesn't exist here. Long ago, writers and philosophers wondered what it would feel like to meet a different version of oneself. What they discovered, quietly, was that the mind naturally creates these parallel lives in imagination, sketching out multiple paths at once. Have you ever found yourself daydreaming about a different version of your life, without sadness, just curiosity? Imagine meeting that version now. Feel the gentle recognition. Hear quiet footsteps approaching in soft grass. See a familiar silhouette standing in warm twilight. Let yourself drift toward them. You don't need to stay fully awake. Some parallel Earths may seem almost the same as this one, except for small details. A slightly different skyline, a constellation with one star added or removed, a river that bends a little more to the east, a mountain that rose taller after a gentler ancient eruption. Imagine walking through a city just like yours. Feel cool pavement beneath your shoes. Hear distant traffic humming softly. See a familiar street corner, but with different colours glowing in shop windows. Let that slight unfamiliarity ease your mind. You can drift across realities. Other versions of Earth might have taken different paths entirely, where history unfolded along gentler lines, or where scientific discoveries happened earlier or later, shaping the world into a different melody of lights and sounds. Maybe a world with quieter machines, maybe a world with more forests, maybe a world where night skies shine clearer because fewer lights reach up from the ground. Imagine looking up at a parallel night sky. Feel the cool air on your cheeks. Hear crickets singing softly. See constellations rearranged in graceful patterns. Let your eyes relax into that unfamiliar sky. You don't need to think. Let the stars carry you. Some theories even suggest that each universe contains infinite Earths, each with infinite variations of your life, stretched gently across a delicate lattice of probability. In this lattice, each version of you moves quietly through their own story, unaware of the others but connected through the soft symmetry of possibility. Imagine a spiderweb covered in morning dew. Feel its delicate strands. Hear drops of water sliding down slowly. See thousands of tiny reflections glowing within each bead. Let your thoughts rest in those reflections. You can drift deeper. Other models imagine parallel Earths separated by only the thinnest cosmic membrane, so thin that sometimes, under the right conditions, two worlds might softly echo each other. A feeling of déjà vu, a dream that feels too real. A moment when you suddenly sense a life you never lived. Have you ever paused in the middle of a day and felt something strangely familiar, even though the moment was new? Imagine that sensation growing gently warmer. Feel a soft tug in your chest. Hear a faint whisper of another world calling like a memory. See yourself turning towards something unseen. Let yourself drift into that echo. There is nothing to fear. Only possibility. Some parallel Earths may hold different weather patterns, gentler seasons with longer springs, or quiet winters where snow falls more softly, muffling sound until the whole world seems to breathe in slow, peaceful rhythms. Others may glow with different colours during sunset, caused by tiny shifts in atmospheric particles. Imagine watching a sunset on a parallel Earth. Feel golden light warming your eyelids. Hear a soft breeze flowing across tall grass. See colours glowing that you've never seen before. Deep turquoise, gentle rose, luminous violet. Let yourself slip into that light. You don't need to stay awake. Some scientists believe there may even be parallel Earths where you crossed paths with someone earlier or later, changing the shape of your life in small but meaningful ways. A friendship delayed by a day, a love discovered in a different season, a journey taken a year sooner or a year later, quiet shifts that create new realities. Imagine sitting beside a parallel version of someone you care about. Feel their quiet presence, hear their soft breathing beside you. See a moment of connection unfolding differently. Let that warmth soothe you. You can drift. Across all these theories, one gentle truth emerges. Parallel Earths are not loud or dramatic. They are quiet variations, soft echoes, different breaths of the same cosmic wind. And somewhere among them, there are many versions of you, each one moving through their own peaceful world, each one breathing, dreaming, drifting through moments shaped by choices both big and small. Imagine now stepping onto one more parallel Earth, one where the world is calm, the sky is clear, and the air feels warm against your skin. Feel that warmth sink into your shoulders. Hear wind drifting through distant trees. See stars gathering softly overhead. Let yourself lie down in that world. Let yourself rest in its gentle grass. Let yourself drift into its twilight air. You can let go. You can soften. You can sleep. Good night.